Sensei Sam, and I'm here to talk today about an idea in martial arts that's important, but it's easy to overlook too. It's that idea of posture. And how we deal with posture, we actually have a way of training people to have better posture, and that's done through our exercise of going through all these different stances that we take, or kamae. So in karate, or in martial arts, we have stances that we practice. And those stances have a purpose, and that purpose should be that as you're moving from one move to another, one technique to another, you're staying balanced, that you're maintaining a good body alignment, a good frame with your body, and that you have good posture during all that, and that you look like you know what you're doing. Even if you're you're scared for your life, whatever it is, it still appears to whoever's trying to assault you that they picked the wrong person to mess with, that you look stronger than you really are. So some of the stances that we do here at Bluegrass Martial Arts, and this is only a few of them, is we have what we call our ready position, where the feet come together, right? They're supporting the hips, hips supporting the shoulders, everything back straight, hands pull back, and you're squeezing your shoulder blades together as you bring this in. Right? That's our ready position, and we'll find that in a lot of some of the Kung Fu forms that we do. We'll come to this position before they begin. From here, we also have our horse stance. Horse stance is feet spread just slightly more than shoulder width. You bend both knees, right? So you have some flexion in the legs. And even though we call this horse stance, it's supposed to be that you're looking like, your legs look like you're on the back of a horse, but it's not a moving horse, right? No pumping up and down. You want to stand as still as possible, right? So this is a horse that is not moving. And it'll get a little bit of pump in the leg, and that's fine. Arms come out to the side here, and again, posture is important. So the head's high, and you're supporting with your legs everything else. That is a strong structure, right? So that's our horse stance. From here, we've got what we call a neutral bow, and I'll be talking about this a little bit more later. But this is a way, our most common fighting stance, and it's going to be sideways. Not a good idea to approach someone combatively and square off like this, because you're giving up all your vitals that way. Everything you want to hit, all the important stuff, is all right here, right down the middle. So if I turn off to the side, I've made that a little bit harder to reach. Now if they want to get to the middle and get a good shot at the middle, they have to come over this way. And if they try to move, I'm going to keep moving. I'm going to try and keep one side forward to them. But it's not completely sideways. Because if I'm completely sideways, I only have my front hand and I only have my front foot to work with, and I'm going to have to make some adjustment in order to reach them with the back leg and back foot. So rather than have to make that adjustment, we start where it's sideways, but it's offset slightly. So my front toe and my back heel would be on the same line. The distance between the feet is about the same as the horse stance is, just slightly more than my shoulder width. Again, the knees are bent, so if I'm standing up straight, I can't quite see my toes when I look down, so there's some flexion in the knees. And I've got my hands up in a defensive position, right? So they have to come through my hands in order to get to me. And this is our neutral bow. This is our most common fighting stance. We also have cat stance, right? Most of the weight now is on the back leg. I'm light on the front so that I can lift that front foot up, enabling me to kick. I'm not going to be able to kick if I've got weight on that leg. You have to get the weight off the leg in order to be able to lift it up and actually kick with it. So cat stance is often a transition we'll use in order to get that weight off the leg to kick with, or if we need to move, if we need to change direction or step or whatever, cat stance can be a transitional point in that process, but it happens very quickly, right, before the kick or before the movement. We also have crane. Our crane stance is where we'll lift one foot up and we're going to stand just on one leg, right? Supporting your whole weight on one leg, so I have to get my center of gravity over one leg to support that, right, as I lift the other leg up. And again, from this position here, I definitely don't have any weight on this leg, so I can kick with it, but I like to think of this crane position as more defensive. So when you go to that crane position, being able to use that knee defensively. If somebody's trying to kick at you, your low line is exposed in some way, then you can use the shin and actually protect yourself that way. So we'll often use the crane position for that, right? Now, the next one we have is called forward bow. This is our aggressive posture. Now the weight's on the front leg, opposite of the cat stance where it was on the back. Back leg is straight, right? It acts as like a shock absorber, all the way with my heel into the ground, and my shoulders are square, weight forward on that front leg, right? And that's why we consider it an aggressive posture. That weight's in the front leg, so that I feel like I want to step forward. So if the attacker is coming at you, this is a strong braced position or in preparation to go right through them. I'm not as braced as well from side to side. So if the attack comes from either side, I'm not quite as balanced, but it assumes that you're squaring off with someone, you're going to go straight forward, right? Now that's only a few of the stances that we use in our classes here at the Bluegrass Martial Arts. But they're some of the critical ones, and all of those ideas that we're practicing, the entire time, you're always concentrating on being balanced and having good posture. You can't have one without the other. You're not going to have good balance once you lose posture, once that structure starts to be compromised. So, having a good structure where your hips are supporting your shoulders, right? Everything's kind of standing tall. That's important in martial arts, and it's one of the things we forget if we haven't practiced it quite a bit over and over and over again. It's one of the things that goes out the window if you find yourself all of a sudden in a terrifying situation. If somebody's actually attacking you, if all of a sudden it gets real fast, then that something like posture, breathing, stuff like that you forget about. And it's that kind of stuff that just has to do its job in that moment without you having to worry about it, right? You've got to be able to focus on other things, not am I keeping my back straight, am I standing up tall while someone's trying to kill you. So that's why we practice that stuff. And that way as you're moving from one thing to the other, you stay balanced. You don't have to worry about balance if your posture's been corrected while you were training instead. Now how we can apply some of these concepts outside of martial arts, kind of be more universal with our understanding of posture. How we hold ourselves, how we maintain ourselves makes a statement to the world around us. Now you may say, I don't care what other people think. Good for you, but it matters. What you say about yourself by how you present yourself to the world is important. You're making a statement. You're making a statement with your posture about what you believe about yourself. Your sense of self-value and self-confidence kind of plays out in how you carry yourself. And so it's important to, even if you don't feel like it, learn how to look like you've got self-confidence. Look like you feel empowered, that you feel strong. And that doesn't just happen. That takes active work, especially if you're in the middle of something going on in your life, and you can tell, you can see people that are dealing with stuff. Because as we deal with stuff, we start to, it's like we're going into that fetal position while you're standing up, right? Everything just kind of curls in when we're wrestling with something that's kicking our butt. So again, when life hits, being able to face it with good posture, right? That says something. That says something to the world around you. That says something about yourself, hopefully to yourself. Hopefully you're making a statement to yourself by the way you carry yourself as to what you believe your own value is. What value you have to offer is something that should be presented to the world and the world should want. And definitely if you want to be in any kind of position of leadership, if you want to be in any leadership at all, you've got to learn how to carry yourself in a way that kind of commands authority. People will be drawn to you if it looks like you have self-confidence and that you have a high value of self-worth, because that will rub off on them. And whether they know that consciously or not, subconsciously, we're drawn to people that carry themselves with confidence. So, posture, a lot of the time, equals confidence and how we approach the world around us. And that will be evident to the world around us by how we carry ourselves. And one of the places we learn to carry ourselves well, I think, is in martial arts in any martial arts school. It's definitely something that we practice here. So that's one way to look at stances. There's a lot of other applications. It's really like a freeze frame picture of what's going on in the midst of a fight, how you can still be moving in combat, but at the same time balanced at the same time. And that's why we practice these different positions, even though at first they might feel odd. Anyway, I hope that helps. Again, I'm Sensei Sam, and I'll see you next time.